say President Bush only said once, knowing it was 244 times on TV in those 4 years. Clinton, all of them say, and Bush has said, my father only said once in an article. Well, they always add, why do they say Bush Sr. only said once that we were going to have a new world order? Why do they always just add a lie?
Well, they are, number one, they are born liars. That is a psychopathic trait as well. That's why they go into politics and they lie so well without blushing. They do things, even when their life's scandals are exposed to the public, they don't blush, because a psychopath is pure ego. He will defend his ego at all costs. And they do it very successfully. They're almost a separate species, the psychopathic class, especially the inbred type who've been born into wealthy families.
Yeah, the hyper psychopath. I'm beginning to call them the hell force. I think that's the best way. The elite and their minions, this throng of sickos with their fancy propaganda arms projecting. I mean, it's like a cloaking device. They project happy clowns and friendly, but it's just buzzsaws and death right behind that hologram, and they're just chewing us up. And I'm going, good God, I've been behind the hologram, I've seen it, but now they've even lowered the cloak, and now they're telling us buzzsaws or love.
Yes, and we've got to remember, too, when we were told right after 9/11, when Rumsfeld came on, backed up by Cheney and others, and they said that this is 100 years war. Now, that was a legal statement to the public. And this means it's 100 years to go through the 30 years of riots, which the Department of Defense was admitted to. At the end of this 100 years, they hope to have a new civilization.
That's right. In fact, they believe in international and ancient law and commercial Roman law, so they always post it like in the newspaper. That's why they had all those books and TV shows where the government hijacks jets and flies them in the World Trade Center to attack Afghanistan and uses drills as a cover. Yeah. And they tell you, and it's the same thing, we're going to have a 100-year war. And then they give awards to professors that say they want to kill everybody, and then give the professor access to bioweapons labs. And then they say, I've had elitists, at the Capitol and other events where I've bumped into them, come up and say, Alex, they don't want your help. We're going to kill them. Basically, they don't want your help. There's nothing they can do. Don't you understand? They don't want your help. That's who they are. And it's just so sick.
And at the end of this, they hope to have their transhumanist society, and they'll have brought forth during this 100 years this new transgender, transhumanist creature that will serve them better and will give them no trouble, won't need entertainment, won't need to be rewarded for what it does. It'll be a easily programmed being right out of Huxley's Brave New World. This is the plan. The war isn't just about the Middle East. The war is on the cultures of every country on the planet, to alter them all and to get us to accept us, our own demise as the old man, the old yesterday's man.
And as bad and corrupt as the Muslim nations are, I'm not defending them, they are angel cakes compared. And so when Iran says great Satan, they are actively and correctly assessing what runs the West.
It's interesting that when they go to Mecca, they used to do 2 trips, one to the Kaaba stone, and after that they all went to, up until 2 years ago, by the way, in Saudi Arabia, they then picked up stones and they stoned an Egyptian obelisk that was called the Great Satan. And that was only removed 2 years ago under the pretext that some of the stones were bouncing back and hurting people. But from ancient times, that symbol, which is high Freemasonry, and that's Washington's monument as well, was understood by the Muslims as to represent the satanic system.
But now they're not allowed to throw rocks at it. They must love it.
That's right.
How dare you not worship?
In all ages, for totalitarianism, for an elitist system, and for a fraternity, a brotherhood who run the world. And they understood that in those countries.
Absolutely. It's a big block, the all-seeing eye, crushing the little person who is beneath it. Let's go back to the calls here. Let's talk to Scott in Arizona, then Elliot, Pete, T, and Colin. I want to get to everybody. Go ahead, Scott. You're on the air with Alan Watt.
Hey, Alex and Alan. My question is more directed towards, the elitists, of course, they don't control Alex's show, and we get the true story on everything that's happening out there. But you got two media outlets outside on the mainstream, which is CNN and Fox News, and you got two guys in those media outlets belong to CNN. That would be Glenn Beck and Lou Dobbs, who are the only ones that are in those media outlets that are talking about anything to do with the North American Union and stuff. Even Alex put with him, Lou Dobbs, in the film.
Yeah, but Dobbs. Let me just say something. Dobbs has his own contract, and he steals for the war on drugs and a few other bad things. But he's a pretty good guy. Please don't put him in the same grouping as Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck will say we have to fight the New World Order. That means submitting to world government. I mean, Beck is really a monster. But go ahead.
Okay, we'll put Glenn Beck aside, but I just don't understand. The elites control both those media outlets, and actually Fox News talks, and they don't have anybody like that. But CNN does have those two guys.
They have to have the illusion. They have to have the illusion that they are fair and balanced. You want to take that, Alan?
Yes, it's like you see, everything is fake in the world that's presented to the public because we think. In the dialectic, they always give you two sides of a story, and you'll pick one, and that'll become your opinion. So I think it was Professor Anthony Hutton, when he was talking about these agencies and societies, he said the guys from the same club, the same fraternity, will be on opposite stations and appear to oppose each other. This is standard technique. And average Joe will never think himself beyond that. They appear to oppose each other. And this is just a Punch and Judy show to give you this or that opinion.
But the key is it's always watered down. They'll never tell you get involved, take action, educate others. They'll never give you the larger forms of the New World Order. They'll just, why is the president opening our borders? He sure is dumb.
Yeah, exactly. It's to keep you stuck in the daily present.
Lou Dobbs won't tell you. Exactly. Lou Dobbs won't tell you that Bush is a puppet. He'll still play into that controlled paradigm. Thank you, Scott. Elliot in Ohio. Go ahead. Got to move quick here. Come on, Elliot. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, I got a question for you. Who was the biochemist that unleashed anthrax to the States?
Oh, I've got his name. He's a Israeli. He's the main suspect. He broke back into the lab even when he didn't have his authorization. We're actually making I've got his name on the tip of my tongue. Hey, Burmas, come in here. You should know. Somebody will call in just a moment. They tried to blame Hatfield. He was just found... basically not guilty, just won $5+ million. And hey, what's the name of the Israeli national who was at the bioweapons lab there in Fort Detrick? And he even after he was fired, he was back in the controlled area.
I'm not quite sure, Alex. All I know is that recently in 2000...
This is a memory thing, and see, we're down to the end of the show. Yeah. If I Googled it, everyone says I don't have a perfect memory. Let's ask Alan Watt. I appreciate your call, sir. Alan, can you remember who that is?
No, it's escaped my mind.
Oh, I'll just look for it right now.
Well, I can say this, Alex. Jonathan Pollard was convicted of being a mole inside the U.S. intelligence agencies, and since then, 2 other people have been arrested in conjunction with that. The latest one about 3 months ago, and another arrest was made in 2004. The 2004 arrest may have something to do with that, but I'm not quite sure.
No, I mean, his name's everywhere. In fact, I think I know it, but I don't want to say the wrong name. Let me see. I'm going to type Israeli anthrax... scientist. That should find it. I just spoon feeding all this. It's so easy to find all this stuff, folks. The hidden anthrax letter suspect. Oh no, that's. I'll find it right here. What really happen's got an area. We've written articles about it. My memory's not. I'm not an encyclopedia, folks. Alan, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, you always find this, though, that things come out of the bag after the... You see, the main intent is to get the whole New World Order totalitarian system underway. They don't really care if it begins to unwind and it gets exposed.
It's not loading, it's slow as usual.
Yeah. Once it's out, once it's underway, and we've already adapted to checkpoints and ID cards, they don't care if the truth starts to come out then. That's why you can't let it get any further than it already is. We've got to start taking it back, taking our rights and freedoms back before we're in the worst hellish totalitarian system ever seen on this planet.
And the grid is almost in place right now. The grid is almost in place.
You see, we cannot allow ourselves... One generation is growing up right now